deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest is deeper than music, deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music, deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest is deeper than music, deeper than music.
What up, what up, what up? It's your man Furyus, and welcome to this episode of Deeper Than Music Radio. I figured for this episode I'd just go ahead and reintroduce myself to the music scene, reintroduce myself to podcast land, and then also do a deep dive on four of my more recent songs we're going to talk about and listen to as well. We're going to talk about So Fancy, Pull Through, and then also Insomnia. I was that type of guy when I would get a CD or a record back in the days before MP3s, millennials. We actually had CDs and cassettes and records, and I'd be that type of guy to look at the CD or look at the back cover and just read and figure out who wrote the song, who did the production, and all that stuff. And that was also, and I was also a big fan of VH1's Behind the Music. So that's the motivation behind Deeper Than Music. Our slogan is behind every great song, there's an even greater story. So I figured with coming back into podcast land and redoing this Deeper Than Music thing, I would go ahead and just basically reintroduce myself and then just talk about four of my more recent songs. We'll play it first and then we'll just talk about it. I'll give you the backstory and all that fun stuff. And I'd like to say again, thank you for listening. Thank you for being a part of Deeper Than Music Radio. We had to take a little hiatus, unfortunately, last year about this. Well, actually, I'm not going to say unfortunately because I'm very fortunate. I'm a firm believer when God closes one door, he opens another one. And I'm a testament to that. God closed the door. I got laid off at my previous job, and he opened up an even bigger door. Now I have a job where I can travel the world. I'm a lover of aviation and music, and I get to, in my other job, my day job, I get to live and breathe aviation and also travel the world. As a matter of fact, today I was actually went to Beijing. I've been to Beijing twice. Was actually debriefing some of my colleagues about my Beijing trip, and one of my coworkers was like, "Mark, you've been to Beijing twice this year," and I had to stop and reflect on that. It really hit home because in the past year, I've been to Paris, I've been to London, I've been to Beijing. I work in the aviation field. I get to travel at my leisure, one of the benefits of my job. And it allows me to do things that I love, music, and this show, Deeper Than Music Radio. So a brother's feeling real blessed today. I just been reflecting and taking time to smell the roses. And I just like to say thank you to everybody that hung tight with me as I went through my downtime. I had to rebuild, and now we're back on track, and I want to resume this Deeper Than Music Radio. So today is my reintroduction, and in the future we'll have other great artists as well, talking about their music, talking about their inspiration, and getting the story behind the music and why they do what they do. So for the first song, we're going to go into a song that I collaborated with Vince Thomas, who is also part of a boy band, Us Five, real big in the 90s, real big in Germany. So we'll go ahead and get into So Fancy, and then afterwards I'll tell you the story behind So Fancy. And again, thank you for tuning in. Deeper Than Music, Evening with Furyus, and my music explained here on Deeper Than Music Radio. you gotta find that inner fire, and you gotta let it burn within. Never give up, never surrender. Keep going, you can do it.
Could it all be a dream? Beaming lights, taking flight. One night the mic device enticed me to bite. What I write, right is system mentioning black youth. You could do anything, dream big. Witness this grinding, blind faith, my escape. Sound waves had to pave a way. Never strayed, lost focus. Bogus dreams up in steam. You clean the mess, distress when it's wrecked. Perplexed, next chapter. Fall back in the lab, making drafts of your plans. Mic in hand, competition shivering, quivering when they see no defeats in your blood. The sport won't afford conform, change, bring the pain. Standing on your feet, victories what you see. Playing there with no options to stop and copping the ground, setting them down. The difference is no giving in. You play to win till the bloody end.
When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. This is your moment, gotta own it. In your zone is atonement, never clone it.
When it's dark and my heart's ripped apart, that spark, that fire, the flame. Together again, through the rain, energy sustained. Putting rappers to shame, your lane contains lame lyrics. Be ashamed, this game is tame. Sound the same, I reckon perfection's lesson. Question, do you write, recite, bite? Like mediocrity, simply the ABC 1, 2, 3. These plain Janes will wane. Novocaine numb, a short run. Someone pulled his plug, had enough. It's over, play dead. Enough said. Infrared beams to clean the team. Precise as I slice. Nice with this gift. Swift, nimble, like tight. Recite what I write. Call it a night. Light the fire, the flame. The game needs MCs like me to breathe deep. Back in this industry.
When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. This is your moment, gotta own it. In your zone is atonement, never clone it.
You can do, show, improve, move mountains. Astounding grace, face your competition. Winner's intuition, only the beginning of the race. Move at the pace with patience and grace. Cake and eat it too. Run through, abuse those far removed. The number one spot, target and plot. Stop anywhere about to doubt. It's near. Cheers, crowd getting out. Astounding feat. You reach that peak, they speak. It's obsolete. Delete. Rise to defeat and disbelief. Chief rocker, non-stop at the drop of a dime. Chimed in, climb in. Ultimate height. You fight, you rose, they froze, they glow. You own the zone. Bringing it home in your quest to possess the gold. Behold, now they know as your glory unfolds.
When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. This is your moment, gotta own it. In your zone is atonement, never clone it. This is your moment. This is your moment. When you gotta do what you gotta do, never lose your cool. Gotta show improve, gotta break on through. This is your moment, gotta own it. In your zone is atonement, never clone it.
Yes, sir. That's Gotta Do. And I'm sorry, before I said So Fancy was going to be the song, and actually I queued up the So Fancy instrumental, not necessarily the song, so then I switched it to Gotta Do. But, however, So Fancy as well as Gotta Do was available on all streaming networks, your Spotify's, your Tidals, and then also your Amazon Music, your iTunes. It's there everywhere. So if you want to hear it, just go ahead and Google search Furyus, any of your online streaming or where you download. So I actually had to switch it to Gotta Do. So I'll tell a little story about Gotta Do. Gotta Do, I want to say, was done back in 2015. My friend and mentor, MVE Records, a label that I'm a part of, and also my standalone music imprint, but this is done under MVE Records, Universal Music Group Distribution, was produced by Gary Devine back in 2015, and this was the lead single for my As Yet to Come album, Sessions of My Mind. Like I said, last year I was going through so much. Even when that song was made, rest in peace, my dad. He was dying of cancer, and just wasn't a real good situation. Unfortunately for me, some people can create when they're going through the storms. As for me, when life's really happening, I mean, it's hard for me to create. However, we did that song in 2015. Also, we have a video for it. It's on YouTube, my YouTube channel, FURYUS YouTube channel. You can go ahead and check that bad boy out. But basically, Gary provided me the beat, loved the energy, and it had that like 90s bad boy type of vibe. And the music just spoke to me, and I'm just like, you know what? I want this song to be an anthem for people. Like, when you got to do what you got to do, you got to show and prove. So the first verse is just like, you know, when things go bad, go back in the lab and rehash that plan and go strong, and make it happen. And then because the song had that 90s bad boy feel, I definitely wanted to come real lyrical with it. Like at the last verse, when it's dark and my heart's ripped apart, that spark, that fire, the flame, together again. That verse, I wanted to pay homage to Andre 3000. I wanted to like flip it like he did. And it's basically, I want to say it was in the summertime. Yeah, it was in the summer 2015, because Gary came down to my house. Maybe it was 2014 and 15, a little bit blurry, but he flew out to my home studio and gave me some beats. Again, Sessions of My Mind, still an album in works. It's going to come out. Believe me, now is the time. You know, Furyus is now, I'm in my creative zone right now, musically and also lyrically. So he came through, he dropped that beat to me, and I was like, you know, I had to write to it. It probably took me about 2 weeks up. Sometimes I have lyrics in my head, I write to it, and I'll just marinate on it. I'm always about the delivery, always very conscious about the delivery and how I come out. I consider myself a wordsmith, and I'm in the era where you have to have that delivery. You have to, I like to be poetic and real complex with it. But that's the motivation, the story behind Gotta Do. Next, what I'm going to do is we're going to play the song Heart of a King. Heart of a King is the first song that I've actually, I produced this a while ago. I want to say 2013 for an artist named Chess, back when I lived in Maryland. Shout out to Chess, shout out to Maryland. Love the DMV area. So we worked on a song, but we never completed it. Like, I have a gang, a lot of instrumentals, a lot of songs that are incomplete that I get creative spurts and, life happens and I don't finish things. But this year, and now with the resurrection of my record labels, Standalone Music, all these instrumentals, all these songs, they're coming out. We're bringing them out. Bring them out. But anyways, it's a song that initially started with Chess, and then just last year, I've added myself and then DJ D Kimball, and then so we'll get into Heart of a King, and then I'll talk about the story behind the music. And thank you for listening. Deeper Than Music Radio, and even with Furyus and my recent music explained.
Take a breath of fresh air. I give you nothing but the best here. Straight from the heart of a king. A whole lot of things not church like. Ain't nobody gonna take away my birthright. I'm the next heir to the throne. Bow down to your knees, man, I'm wrong. I put my heart in your pain. It's hard when it rains, it's just like a whole lot of sprinkle in the air that burns right. A lot of boiling oil in the zone till the soil changes into precious stones.
I got the heart of a king, the courage of a lion. Don't sell me any fear. This year I ain't buying no wine when they say it's no crying in this game.
best of me, testing these insecurities. Best believe a recipe set to me, sets apart, no harder spark to embark in dark places. Face basic fear, nearing the end, descend, the pen, blowing the wind, no giving in. Bend, break, what's the stake is great. My place at the King of Kings, achieve everything I dreamed.
Inside the heart of a king. A whole lot of things not church-like. Ain't nobody gonna take away my birthright. I'm the next heir to the throne. Bow down to your knees and I'm gone. I put my heart in your pain. It's hard when it rains. It's just like a whole lot of sprinkles in the air that burns right. A lot of boiling oil in the zone. See the soul changes into precious stones. Inside the heart of a king.
Inside the heart of a king. No, but seriously, so that's Heart of a King, second release off of standalone music. That's myself, DJ D. Kimball, Shuri Chesson in the DMV area, and then singing in the background is Kamara Ofa, who is also featured on a single that we dropped called Insomnia, featuring myself, DJ D. Kimball, and Kamara Ofa. And then I had something else in my head that I wanted to say about that. But anyways, honestly, the song was built around Chess's verse, which we recorded probably about 2012 in Laurel, Maryland. I performed a show in Virginia, and Chess was one of the performers. I mean, this brother, he impressed me because he also can rap and sing in French. Yeah. Sorry, it's a little bit late. So we linked up, and then we sort of we created a bondship, and then I also told him that I do music. And one day he came to the studio, my studio back in Laurel, and he listened to a bunch of instrumentals, and immediately he liked the song. And so we set up a session. The first session, he recorded his first verse and chorus, and it was an all-day thing. But when you're an artist, you want to get the feel right. And as a producer, I want to make sure any song that I do with any artist, I want to make sure that they sound their best. D. Kimball can attest to that. So the song was built around his chorus and his first verse. And then what I did is initially when I decided I wanted to get back into making music and revamp my record label, Standalone Music, this was going to be a song that was already, I want to say, about 30% done. Presented it to my artist, DJ D. Kimball, and I was like, let's get on the song. But before I did that, got the blessings from Chess. I'm like, Chess, we did a song back in the day. I want to bring it out. However, I noticed you didn't finish the whole song. Can we jump on it? So D did his second verse. I did my verse. Kamara did the singing. And basically the story behind my lyrics, so we did this about last year. I was still fresh off of the stuff that I've been through last year. My dad passing. Within a year and a half or 2 years, my dad passed, and then of course being let go. So the verse is just like, I say, God, odd how you bring me to you, and just talking about no clues of what's going on, but God is always there. And my insecurities are testing me. When we go through things, we all have insecurities. Just basically saying that God, situations bring me to you. My insecurities are testing me. However, I kneel to you, and, faith and guidance gives me the power that I need to do to make sure that my dreams become a reality. And I say that at the end of the verse. So I love how everything came together. It's a song that was mixed and made 2013. 2012. I want to say I made the instrumental in 2011, 2012, and we revamped it. Me and, Shuri added his initial flavor, and me and D just carried that load. And then also Kamara added her lovely vocals to the song, and I just love the way it came together. So that's just the story behind that. And then our last and final song that I want to talk to is the latest single on Standalone Music. Is myself and DJ D. Kimball. This song is called Pull Through. And also the video is on my YouTube channel. YouTube search Furyus, and this video is out. We filmed it in Salt Lake City. Shout out to Connor DeGangi, who's also featured in the music video as well. So we'll go ahead and get into Pull Through, and then I'll explain, the story behind that song And again, thank you for your time and listening. Deeper Than Music Radio, Evening with Furyus, my music explained.
Sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, be bold, never fold, hold sacred, vacant hold, smoking dust when the bus touch the sky, beat the proud, say goodbye, sink, swim, situations, contemplated the devastation, strive to be the livest like the virus, to defy this like sirens, crying inside, ride or die, till my dreams coincide with reality, a balladry, imagining dragging me to defeat, weak, reach my peak, deep within, the fire's burning, yearning to let loose till the truth, you defeated, my allegiance to winning ain't thinning, beginning to end, I'll defend my honor, till you reach the calms. Life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way,
breaking through barriers, gonna make some headway, hands to advance. Time for my upgrade, turn it up a notch, going to the next level. Several attacks as I wrestle with the devil. Won't settle for the basics, want some additional positional changes to make my dream visible. Cynical, nah, I'm going through my deep thoughts. When I'm on a ride, they're gonna take some cheap shots in a weak spot. I turn to the Holy One, eradicate the hate, eliminate the phony ones. The only one believe my strength to succeed. Me with the spirit, for battle to I bleed. Exceed beyond limits, failure is prohibited. Perfection, correction, getting better by the minute. Diminish, the dead weight wins. Accumulate, pulling through, breaking through, finish the final
sometimes
race.
life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, adrenaline at minimum, killing them, dwindling. Limbs are weak, those who disbelieve, obsolete, retreat. Tight as I recite these kryptonite venomous, endless missiles that whistle, rhythmatic static krakens, released as I speak my piece, unleash poetic rhetoric, hectic for you to get it, don't sweat it, I bet it's a mess, you distress my context, complex, you perplexed under duress, suppressed, catalog barrage of talent, unbalanced, didn't have a chance to advance, plan a phrase, stay in your lane, frame of mind far behind, as I exceed what you need. Sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way, sometimes life cuts like a knife, feel like you might say goodnight. Don't give up the fight or lose sight, pull through. It's in you to break on through, see it through till the end. In this way.
Yes, that was Pull Through, latest single, standalone music. DJ D. Kimball, myself. So the story behind this song is, let's start off with instrumental. I make a gang of instrumentals. Been doing that too. There's like I said, I got a whole bunch of instrumentals. As a matter of fact, I was making the next single that we're gonna drop is called Spanish Fly. It's a real smooth Latin hip hop beat. But as I was making that beat, I want to say about 2 summers ago, my daughter was like, you know what, you need to come out with this music. The music behind Pull Through, I wanted to make like a Rocky like theme hip hop kind of like song. I love like cinematic sounds. I love most of the music that I create have like a cinematic sound to it. Love strings, love like just adding that drama. So I made that beat about 2 years ago, and it was like I was thinking about Rocky, actually the instrumental was called Final Knockout. So actually, me and D are working on a EP together, and part of the Insomnia, which I'm not going to bring up or talk about, was the first single. Second single was Heart of a King, and Pull Through is the third single. So the motivation, the beat was a rocky beat. So the motivation, what I do is when I write to a song, whether it's provided by Gary Devine or a beat that I do myself, I make the beat, and as I'm making the beat or as I'm listening to the beat, I let it guide me. Like the feel of the beat is like, this is what the direction that I want to go in. So with this song, I'm like, it has a rock hip hop feel to it, and I just want to, like I said, you want to pull through again, as in the vein of Gotta Do. Like, look, sometimes life cut like a knife, but you got to pull through. And this song is all the culmination of like what I've been through last year. And it's like, be bold, never fold, hold sacred, vacant hope. It means you got to keep going. So that was the motivation behind that song. Like, anything you going through, you got to pull through. And the second verse is just like, second verse was carried by D in the same vein. The third verse is just like, I want to get my my Talib Kweli, my Pharaoh Monch on and get real lyrical with it, and just saying that, to the competitors, that your frame of mind is far behind as I exceed what you need. So that's just another like, get at them lyrically. But the next single coming out is for the ladies. As of right now, it's tentatively, the beat is Spanish Fly, real Latin smooth hip hop beat. But it's gonna be for the ladies. It's gonna be real smooth. But that's about it right now. So got to reintroduce myself. We're on Deeper Than Music Radio, and tell the story behind 3 of the songs that I made. Initially, we were going to talk about So Fancy, but I got the instrumental. We talked about Gotta Do. We talked about Heart of a King, featuring myself, Chesson, Kamaro Fa, and DJ D. Kimball, and then gave you, let you hear Pull Through, and gave you the story behind Pull Through. And again, all these songs are available on all digital distributions. It's on your iTunes, it's on your Spotify's, it's on your Tidal. Go out and support. You can find out more information on me, my music, Deeper Than Music Radio, Nias Media, standalone music on immarkivus.com, IMMARKIVUS.com. By the way, that's my first name. And just thank you for listening. So this is episode 1 of Deeper Than Music Radio. More shows to come. It's going to be live streaming, and also we're going to archive the old episodes so you can listen to them. And as also on my website, we got the previous episodes. We had guests such as Callie D, David Allen Dope, Liz Michael, and a few other talents. So again, thank you for taking this journey with me, Deeper Than Music Radio. And again, we're adding, so with this format, we're also adding a segment called Explain, where we'll let the artist take one of his songs to explain the story behind the music and go into a little bit more detail, as well as talk about his journey, his or her journey through music, their inspiration, why they do what they do, and the ups and downs, and also inspiration they have to give other people that aspire to do what they do. So thank you for listening. Again, we'll be streaming this once a week, live, and then also archived. So you guys have a good night. God bless. And again, thank you for listening. Peace.